Right, Joyce. They're in the process of trying to figure out what they want to do to move forward. I reached out to several companies, as you mentioned. The handful that got back to me say right now they are just processing this news.
It's the first step in President Biden's 6-step plan to combat COVID-19, vaccinate the unvaccinated. And the first demand of that step requires all employers with more than 100 employees to ensure their workers are vaccinated or tested weekly, a big undertaking companies are now forced to navigate.
So when we talk to organizations, we try to start with, first of all, what is their goal and how are they managing this whole thing?
Michaela Kiner is the founder of Reverb, a local human resources consulting firm that's been working with several Washington companies to handle changing restrictions in this pandemic.
From the time the pandemic hit to how to work remotely or how to think of coming back to the office, how to support people's mental health.
Her team now expects questions about how companies should move forward with the president's executive order.
So I think the first thing is helping these organizations understand how to interpret the guidelines. What does it mean to them? How does that translate into their particular line of business and their workplace?
The Department of Labor is developing a formal rule for businesses. Kiner believes in the meantime, companies should help their unvaccinated employees feel confident in the vaccine. And for those still remaining unvaccinated, devise a weekly testing plan.
I think the communication to employees about what you're doing and why is so important. And even if you do want to rely on the mandate, you still want your employees to buy in and feel good about the choice that they're making. And so I hope that people will keep that in mind when they choose how to communicate this.
One topic they're expecting a lot of questions from the private sector on is how much is this going to cost companies, especially when it comes to going down the route of those weekly testing requirements. One cost that we know of tonight is that this requirement from the White House, it could carry a $14,000 fine per violation. Live in Seattle tonight, Callie Greenberg, King 5 News.